What's up guys, welcome to Voicey here, this is your host, Captain Sack, and today's subreddit is r/TalesFromRetail.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.
This story's called, Destroys His Own Order, Blames Me. I don't even know who you are. I work in the bakery at a large chain grocery store. I don't make cakes and cupcakes, but I do hand over orders to customers when they come to pick them up. Like most days, I was by myself, no department manager. This guy comes in and says he's here to pick up an order. Fine, I ask him for his name and he tells me. He ordered 30 rose cupcakes in a full sheet box. I wheel them out to him on our rolling table. He picks them up and drops them into his cart. Just dumps them. He then gets mad and blames me for dropping them. He then starts yelling at me because the cupcakes weren't exactly how he ordered them, and that he needed them to be exactly right for his significant other. He insists I took the order, which was weird because the order wasn't in my handwriting. I hadn't been there when he claimed he ordered them. I'd never seen this guy before, and trust me, I'd remember this guy. I show him the order form, and he snatches it out of my hands. I'm trying to de-escalate, and this guy keeps cursing at me. I casually place my hand on his cart and he jerks the cart away. The most I'm allowed to offer is 50% off, which I do. He wants none of it and refuses to take the cupcakes, cursing me out. At this point, I decide I've had enough and go get the manager on duty. As I walk back with the assistant store manager, I fill him in on the customer and warn him that the guy's in a mood. When the assistant store director and I get back to my department, customer has the box open and is messing with the cupcakes. Assistant store director introduces himself and asks what the problem is. I stand next to the counter with my best poker face on. Customer explains that he ordered them just so, that I took the order, that I dropped them, yada yada. Assistant store director offers the customer the cupcakes free of charge if he will leave now. Customer refuses and curses us out again. I'm never coming to store again. And leaves without the cupcakes. Assistant store director and I just look at each other. I told you he was something. Assistant store director leaves and I wheel the cupcakes back into my department. All the adrenaline I'd been holding back released because I was concerned this guy was going to get violent. I know some martial arts, but I don't know how I'd fare against an angry fat guy who looks like he works with his hands. All the yelling and cursing and snatching things away had put me on edge. Once my hand stopped shaking, I made a note explaining why the cupcakes were still here and went back to work. About 15 minutes later, the phone rings. Guess who it is? I want to talk to the bakery manager. She's not in today, as I told you earlier. Well then who the did I talk to? That would be assistant store director, the store manager. Let me talk to him. I transfer him. A few minutes later, assistant store director pages me to the office. I was a little concerned, but nothing I couldn't explain. Assistant store director gestures for me to take a seat. You're not in trouble. The customer called back and asked if the offer of free cupcakes was still valid. I told him that they are not for sale to him at any price, and if he talks to any of us like that again, he will be banned from the store. I'm gonna have you write a statement and sign and date it in case he goes to corporate. I do so, and then wrote his statement on my paper and signed it. We chatted for a few minutes about it, and I went back down. The whole incident was caught on camera, further corroborating our accounts. Nothing ever did happen. I did keep a broomstick within easy reach just in case he came back for vengeance, ruining his whatever. But I never saw him again. I was grateful assistant store manager is a super chill guy who had my back the whole time. He saw a customer messing with the cupcakes and saw that he was trying to make me look worse. We did everything right. We were calm and polite. He was looking for a fight. I'm just glad it happened to me instead of my more timid coworker who sometimes has my shift. I can take abuse with a straight face. I don't know how she would have fared. We ended up selling the non-damaged cupcakes individually in the case to get rid of them, so it wasn't a total loss for us. Assistant store director got assigned to another store a few months ago, but he's still the best assistant store director I have ever had, and he is missed. And that was the only time I was concerned I was going to get in a fight at work. I've never gotten in a fight at work before, however, one of my coworkers got punched in the face by a woman when he tried to break up a fight between them. And, however, there was this one guy that was digging through our dumpster, and I told him he had to leave, and I had a crowbar with me just in case. It was up my sleeve. And he was getting kind of hostile towards me, but I was like, dude, get the hell out of here before I call the cops. And he eventually backed away. He kept saying, I've got a knife, man. But I didn't believe him. That was probably really stupid of me, though. This story is called Aunt Threatens to Sue Store and Have Me Kicked Out of the Family. I'm so freaking mad right now. Okay, so she's not really my aunt. She's my grandma's cousin. So we have all just always called her Auntie Jane out of respect of her elder status. Several months ago, Auntie came into the store where I work, and upon not finding a particular product that she had bought previously, she came to the customer service desk where I happened to be. I went with her to the aisle it should be at. I look with similar products by the same manufacturer and nothing. I called the grocery manager and she said it was pulled due to low sales and replaced by another product. She proceeded to say that she was able to special order it for customers under certain conditions. Explain those conditions, one being the customer had to buy the whole case, which would be 6 or 8 boxes. Auntie said, order me 2. After Auntie walked away, I called the grocery manager back and told her I know my auntie. She did not listen to a word you said past special order. She wants 2 boxes, not cases. Grocery manager didn't believe me. Next truck comes in with 2 cases. It was put at the service desk with her name and invoice. She came in and when handed 2 cases, she said she was never told she had to buy it by the case. She was told by the box. She wanted 2 boxes, not cases. Neither grocery manager nor I was there to dispute Auntie's claim, so the decision was made to let her just have 2 boxes. The rest went into markdowns because we had no room to store it. 2 months later, Auntie comes in again. She wants that product again. I wasn't at the service desk, but I saw her and I knew what she was going to pull. I quickly made my way to the desk, told my co-manager I would take this one, but please state a witness. I made it crystal clear to Auntie that she now had to buy the whole case. I even made her repeat it back to me that she understood she would be buying all 8 boxes for X amount of dollars, each totaling X amount of dollars plus tax. So we ordered it and she came a few days later to get it. My co-manager was the one that gave her the case. I was on break and Auntie went on about her shopping. That rotten bench. She opened the case, took 2 boxes out, and left the rest just sitting in the aisle with similar products. Grocery manager found it about 30 minutes later. Again, 6 boxes into markdown. That is now 20 boxes that went into markdowns, which is 75% off regular retail price. Grocery manager says Auntie cannot special order unless she pays up front. She asks if anyone has contact information for her. Of course, I do. Grocery manager calls her and informs her of the need for prepayment. Auntie is not happy, but finally says she understood. Her name is put on the list of people who must prepay on special orders. Funny. Auntie didn't come into the store for a few months and avoided me like I had the plague at our holiday dinner. She came in today though. I was stocking tobacco products and happened to see her leaving the service desk. Oh, hell no. I immediately went and pulled the special order book to see if she paid. I didn't find an order for her, but I just had a feeling. I looked again, and there it is. She ordered it under her daughter's name. I called grocery manager and showed her. By now, she believes me that this woman is my auntie, so she sees what is going on. I went with grocery manager to find Auntie. We also took the store manager with us. When confronted, Auntie swore her daughter did, in fact, want a case of it. Auntie was told straight up we knew what she was attempting to pull and she had to pay or the order would be canceled, and it would now be in the book to not order this product for anyone. She again said it was for her daughter. I said I was calling her daughter and pulled out my phone. Oh my sweet Lord. My auntie turned into a raging beast, spitting fire and brimstone. She started screaming how the store was discriminating against her due to her age and not understanding their complicated policy. She was getting a lawyer and suing if we didn't order what she wanted, and
You, Missy,
I'm almost 50.
You are out of the family for allowing these people to treat me like this. You are banned from all future
Family name.
functions. No one will ever speak to you again, and no one from our family will ever shop here again. We will own this store once I'm done.
And with that, she walked out. My store manager and the grocery manager are left with their mouths hanging open and what just happened here looks on their faces. I just shrugged and said, yeah, for me, no more family reunions. Fat chance. My grandma is reigning matriarch right now as she's the oldest of the actual bloodline and in charge of the family functions. With her age, it actually falls to my mom, my aunt, me, and my sister-in-law. Edited to add update after telling my grandma about her cousin. Well, my grandma is mad, but at the same time, she thinks it's pretty funny and typical of Jane to pull this crap. Grandma decided to pull some revenge of her own and had my aunt, her daughter, so yes, really my aunt, write a message from Grandma's point of view on our family social media page. She basically paraphrased the story to me encountering a rude customer that would pull this kind of foolishness, and ending it with the fact that it turned out to be a family member treating me like this has just upset her to no end, and by disrespecting me at my place of work is disrespectful of her and our entire family. She had my aunt lay it on thick about how she is heartbroken about this. Now, my aunt, posing as grandma, never once called Jane out by her name, but within 10 minutes of it posting, several family members had pretty much all replied, "Was it Jane? I bet it was Jane because one time we went to," and all had some sort of story of her acting like an ass. Everyone made sure to tell me not to take it personally. She has always been the bratty cousin, now bitter old auntie. Jane's daughter replied with a comment of being sorry for her mom's behavior, and maybe it's time for her to start going to doctor appointments with Jane. I don't think Auntie Jane will be bothering me at work anymore, and I will be looking forward to our holiday dinner this year. Every family has at least one crazy relative. Let me know in the comments below any crazy relative stories you may have of your designated crazy relative. I'm interested. This story's called Saying No to a Customer. Kind of. You know how they always say, never say no to a customer in retail? Well, there was a time where I was actually able to get away with telling a customer no. Well, kind of. This is from when I was working for a big box electronics company that was in the process of going bankrupt at the time, and was closing its stores. I was the person in charge of processing returns. Want to know one of the first things that happen when a store is in process of closing? It stops taking returns. The receipt printers would print this on the receipts, and the cashier would either write "all sales final" or highlight the "no return" on the receipts. So since I was in charge of dealing with returns at a store that was no longer taking returns, you can imagine what my workload was. So I spent my time wandering the store, helping where I could with what I could. One day, I found myself at the customer service desk dealing with a customer who wanted to, return something. I think it was some car accessory gizmo, but I don't remember. I just remember that it was sold for $28.20. Yeah, I know, my brain remembers some crazy pointless things. Anyway, his receipt had it written in red magic marker, "no returns" on it. So cue a 10 to 12 minute conversation that went something like, "I want to return this." "I'm sorry, sir, but we're no longer accepting returns." "Why not?" "Because the store is closing." "But I want to return this." "I'm sorry, sir, but we're not accepting returns anymore." "But I drove down here to return this." "I'm sorry, sir. As it says on your receipt, we are not accepting returns anymore." "But I need to return this." "I'm sorry, sir, but we are no longer accepting returns." "Why not?" "Because the store and company are closing. All sales are final." "But I bought it last week, so I'm in the returns period." "Yes, sir, you would be in the returns period if the company were accepting returns and were undertaking normal operations. But we are closing, so all sales are final as it says on your receipt." "But I need to return this." "I'm sorry, but all sales are final and we are not accepting returns." "But I want to return this." I think you can fill in the rest of the 10-minute conversation. With each repetition, this guy is getting just that little bit more pissed off as he is trying to gear to strong-arm his way into making us take a return. For the record, we were incapable of actually performing a return. The entire function had been disabled in the registers, so beyond taking an item, throwing in a corner, and waiting for the inventory mismatch, it would pop up as in 3 weeks, stealing $28.20 from a register and handing it to him. There was nothing we could do. So this isn't a case of we were choosing to not take a return or anything like that. Finally, this guy decides we've hit that magical point where he can get away with asking to see a manager and make the request to see the manager. While I was technically a supervisor and not a manager, I was emboldened by the reality of the store closing. I literally had 3 weeks left in the job, had no performance incentives, got paid by the hour, and already had my schedule for the next 3 weeks confirmed. I don't think it was possible to be fired at that point, so I opted to have some fun. I turned around right in front of him, clasped my hands together behind my back, put on the fakest smile I could summon the energy to do, turned back around to face him and said, "Hello sir, I'm the manager. How can I help you?" In the absolute most obscenely brainwashed worker drone that has been trained to be as cheerful and happy as they anatomically can be, tone I could think of at that time. Dude turns tomato red and gets super pissed off. He starts screaming about calling corporate and getting me fired. Still having some fun with this, I pick up the phone and dial the corporate number, put it on speaker and crank the volume to max. "Hello and thank you for calling, company name. We regret to inform you that company name will be closing its doors on date. But you can still cash in on some great deals. Be sure to check out our stores for closing deals on the latest hot tech. Be advised that all sales are final and we are not accepting any returns. Thank you for your business." Played over the speaker, followed by a moment of silence before it repeated. The guy just gets more pissed and declares that he was going to sue us and stormed out, leaving the item he wanted to return on the counter. Never did hear anything else from him. It's annoying. The only reason customers are jerks and entitled like that is because you're always nice to them. I wish it was common practice for people, if customers were being a bit rude to them, that they could be like, get the hell out of here. Because you know what? That would solve a lot of problems and you would get this reputation of being genuine and very nice to people that deserve it, and someone who doesn't tolerate bullcrap from bad people, and it honestly would just make the shopping experience there a lot more pleasant. However, people are worried about losing business. But that's how you build a loyal consumer base.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.